Chapter 1. Can somebody read 2 to 4, please?
My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Okay?
Yeah, please stop at 4. Yeah, today's message is titled, Your Problem is Your Promotion. Whatever we pass through in life, God designed it for a purpose. And we know that nothing happens without the knowledge of God. In Jeremiah 29:11, he said, I know the thought I have for you, a thought of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. But God never told us what will happen for the thought to the expected end. He left us to figure it out, or to design it. Reason being that if we are told what will happen, we might be discouraged. Every problem we encounter in life is for a purpose. Though we might see it as negative, we might see it as enemies trying to frustrate us, or enemies trying to bring us down, or whatever it is. But the truth is that God meant it for good. Any problem that comes your way will impact you in 4 different ways. Either it's for correction, either God wants to teach you something you don't want to know, or He has been communicating to you, you don't want to accept. Now He wants to teach you that thing the hard way. Or God wants to strengthen you. He wants to strengthen you to prepare you for something greater in future. Because God, knowing that when you move to your next level, you are going to encounter those things, and when you encounter those things, you will know how to handle them. Not only knowing how to handle those things, but when people with similar problem comes to you, you will also know how to identify with them. But the last one is that every problem, before we go to our next level, we must pass through challenges, tests. Let me call it tests. And that is where we are stuck as Christians. Because God wants to take us to the next level. But when the test comes, what happens? We always fail the test. I want us to start with Genesis 22. Genesis 22. We see when God tested Abraham. Genesis 22. I want to read from verse 1. The Bible said, and it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham, he said, behold, here I am. And he said, take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. When we look at this place, God promised Abraham, I'm going to make you great. I'm going to give you a child, and that through that child, all nations will come to know me. And yet, that same very child, God said, take, go and sacrifice to me. Bible said God was trying to test Abraham to see if actually he has full confidence and trust in him. Then when you go to the book of Hebrew, chapter 11, Bible said that Abraham believed God and wanted to sacrifice Isaac because he believed that God is able to do what? Raise him from the dead. That God is able to raise him from the dead. And when Abraham passed that test, God swore by himself and said, I swore by myself, because there's no other higher authority. We swear by higher authority, but no other higher authority than God, and he has to do it by himself. He said, in blessing, I will bless you. In multiplying, I will do what? I will multiply you. So when that test wants to come, we have a clue here now. In that Genesis 22, he said, take now thy son, thy only son. It might be the only thing you have. God will say, give it to me. Whom thou lovest. God wants to try you. God will try you with something you love. Something ordinarily you will not want to give up. But if you can give up, say, God, you know that this thing I cannot do without it. But because of you, I can give it up. That is what Abraham did. You know? And the next one is go. Are we ready to do? Are we ready to act? Immediately, God gives the command. When God gives commands, two things happen. If that command comes without time frame, then it means the command stands there and then. But if God said the command will start at a certain time, then you have to wait for the appointed time before you carry out the instruction. But in the case of Abraham, there is no time frame. God said take. So it means God demands immediate action. So for us to be promoted, for us to go to our next level, God has to put us to test. Do we actually trust him? Can I trust this thing with you? Can I trust it with you? So when problem comes, we don't look at it as a problem. And I often say to people, when problem comes, don't focus on the problem. Try to find out why the problem is there. Why is the problem here? That is the first thing. And if you can identify why the problem is there, then you can know, is it demonic or God trying to do something in my life? But what happens that we jump into conclusion, it is problem, it is from the devil. I want to take somebody's life as what do I call it now? I want to use Joseph as an example. When we go to Genesis, can we go to Genesis 37, please? When we go to Genesis 37, Genesis 37. Genesis 37. I'm going to read 24 to 29. So, and they took him and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty. There was no water in it. And they sat down